This episode of the What's Happening Delco podcast is sponsored by Delco Meets for Business. Check us out on Meetup at Delco Meets, the number 4 business, and attend one of our incredible networking events. Be sure to register, and we'll see you there. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Nancy Craskey of Springfield Crossing. Nancy, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thanks, Rich. So glad to be here.
Springfield Crossing. What is that?
Well, I like to call it like a hybrid between like a cruise ship, a obviously personal care community, and luxury apartment. So folks come and live here very independently in apartment style living, but they just get all the amenities of, dining, 3 meals a day in the dining room. They have activities, outings, transportation, and also that umbrella and safety net of care. So what I like to say to folks is when I was growing up, my grandparents either aged at home or they went to a nursing home. This is sort of this beautiful bridge where you can't necessarily live safely at home, but you don't need to be in a nursing home. So it's a world where folks can live safely, but pretty independently.
What can people expect when they come and visit and go on a tour and check out Springfield Crossing?
Yeah, so folks come in, and whether it's the family member looking for their prospective, mother, father, aunt, uncle, or they could be coming themselves. And essentially, we'll sit down and we'll chat about like, hey, what brought you here today? What's going on? And oftentimes, what they'll say is, something happened, some occurrence happened where they had been living at home pretty well, maybe not great, but making do. And then something happened and it's just not sustainable anymore. So they're looking for a personal care community. So we'll have a conversation around, why they're there, their finances, because personal care communities in the state of Pennsylvania are all private pay. And that's not something I would have known before I got into this industry. But most people, by the time they walk in the door, they do know that. So we'll have a little discussion about, their assets and their income, talk about what they're looking to get out of the tour. And then usually we'll take a spin through the community and then wind up back here and talk about, any questions they have. What they usually find when they come to the community, I usually hear the words, I'm pleasantly surprised. And wow, this kind of looks like a luxury hotel. And also, one of my favorite things to hear is, wow, your residents seem really happy. And that's the one thing I definitely want to highlight is the secret sauce of our community isn't that we have, a swimming pool or a movie theater. It's that our residents are very happy. It's a very Delco-esque neighborhood where you find people enjoy socializing. We have about 85% participation in our activities, which makes a huge difference. So it's a fun place to live. And usually when people come to visit, they're pleasantly surprised by what they see.
You mentioned activities and outings several times. Talk about some of those, what your residents and potential residents can expect.
Absolutely. So it's all about mind, body, spirit, and it's also very person-centered. So a couple things, mind, body, spirit. We'll do yoga. We'll do bingo, balloon volleyball. One of my favorites, they play bocce every week. Virtual reality. We can take you back to your childhood home and your childhood neighborhood. We can take you to Italy. And then spirit, we'll engage in anything that meets our residents' needs spiritually. So we're right across the street from St. Kevin's, and they are great. They'll come in once a week and do mass for our residents. And then St. Francis, which is right down the road, their deacons come in and do rosary. But, if one of our residents has a particular interest, we'll lean into that. We have a resident, Marty. She loves jewelry, so we formed a jewelry making club. We have a lot of residents who enjoy reading, so they can start a book club, and we'll support anything and everything that they need. We do happy hour 3 to 4 times a week. I always tell people it's leaded or unleaded, depending on your preference. A lot of live entertainment. Our residents love music and anything singing related. They just love that, or piano. What else? Oh, and outings. Yeah. So we'll go to the dollar store. I call it retail therapy, Boscov's, Linvilla Orchards. We'll go to the movies. One of their favorite outings is when we go to Springfield Diner and they get to, have waffles or, their favorite diner food of the day. But, we're pretty robust in terms of activities and open to, suggestions. And it's a fun place.
Is there an age range or a specific of your community? Is there an average age? What, for somebody that's thinking about this and hearing our conversation, and they may say, you know what, I'm way too young for this, but what you're saying to me sounds like, wow, this is exactly the community I'd like to be a part of.
Oh my gosh, Rich, I'm already booking my apartment. Yeah. I mean, they cook, they clean, they do my laundry, there's activities. But to answer your question, anybody 65 and up, and we can flex on that. We can do a little bit younger. We do have folks in the 60s, and we do have 2 residents over 100. But I would say on average, people come here somewhere in their late 70s, early 80s.
For those of people like right now thinking, you know what, it sounds all great, but I'm on the fence. And I'm not sure because, I lived in my house for 40 plus years. I raised my kids here. I know where all the stores are. What are some of the things that, you talk to people about and, that comfort level that I know my house and this sounds like a big transition. Are you able to help me through this transition, Nancy? How do I introduce myself to these new residents or this new, environment? What can we do? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so a couple things. We've been running at 100% occupancy, 100% occupancy here since June of last year. So that right there speaks to the care level and the overall happiness of our residents. So my takeaway from that is you're joining a community where people are waiting to get into, and there's reasons for that. Yes, you know your own home and you know your own neighborhood, great. But if I put paint on the bottom of your shoes today and had you walk around your house in the rooms you actually use, I'd be curious to see where those footsteps were. Mostly, it's probably going to be maybe a bedroom, kitchen, and living room. Well, here you can have a bedroom, you can have a kitchen, and a living room. You don't have to worry about cleaning. You don't have to worry about laundry. And one of my favorite things I get choked up actually about is I am sometimes here till 8 o'clock at night, and folks have dinner here from 4:30 to like 6, but they'll be holding court in the lobby, about 15 to 20 of them, just chatting. It's like the old, stoop back in the day, chatting and enjoying each other's company. And when I leave, I think to myself, oh my gosh, yeah, they were happy at home. Were they though? Because they may have been just sitting in front of their TV, eating their dinner, watching Jeopardy. And here you're really engaging with people. And the key to a good, long life is community. And that's what you get here. So we do often see people kind of coming in a little bit kicking and screaming, like, I don't want to do this. And the next thing you know, you see them turn a corner and they're like, I never want to leave. And the last years of their life are the best years of their life. And that's not to say anything bad about their home or their family, but it is truly enhanced senior living here. It is an enhanced form of living. And the other thing I often tell people and their families to sort of frame the conversation is that we are a 30-day month-to-month lease. So if you're not ready to sell your house, like if you think, oh my goodness, this is such a big step, you don't have to. It's a 30-day month-to-month lease. We don't have a huge buy-in like some of the communities where it's $50,000, $100,000, $150,000. So that gives people like that sense of, I have something to fall back on, and that this isn't, I'm not locked in. But once people come here, they're very happy. They don't want to leave.
You talked about getting choked up, and I am quite sure there are many stories that inspire and motivate you. Can you talk to some of those, whether it's the staff or the residents or people that you come across day to day, some things that are stuck in your mind and say, these things, this is what makes me love what I do.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I worked at City Team in Chester for 6 years. As a director of development. And it was important to me when I raised my children and went back to the workforce. I used to be a realtor. And when I went back to the workforce, I wanted to take the skills that I had in sales and match them with a sense of purpose. And that was very obvious and easy to do working at City Team, which is a homeless shelter, a food program in, what's, very impoverished area in our county. Coming here to work in senior living, I don't think for most people they would understand that or connect the dots. But the seniors in our country are a marginalized population, and at the end of the day, just like at City Team, I get to work with people and make them feel seen, valued, and heard in ways that they maybe hadn't been. And it's just amazing to form those connections. I get to see people who they walk in here and they're like, oh my gosh, we double dated at the prom, or oh my goodness, we worked at Boeing together. I get to see things like miracles happen. We had a resident who had spinal surgery. She was in our rehab. And when she came into our rehab, she did not have the use of any part of her body. She had to use a whistle to alert the nurse if she needed help because she couldn't press a button. She came to us still very much in need of rehabilitation, and she is walking now without any assistance. And she could not be happier, and she's living her best life, getting the best of both worlds, which is living independently, but also having that safety net that she knows, God forbid something happens, she has somebody here to care for her. I could just go on and on. Right here in the building, two of my high school classmates' parents live. It's just a neat place. It just really is.
If people want to sign up for a tour, if people want to reach out to you and learn more about, if people want to sign up and come and get a tour and visit and just get more information, Nancy, how do they reach out to you?
Yeah, sure. So you could call our main number, which is 610-938-9496, or my cell phone, which is 610-314-6076. Or you could email me at ncraskey. It's N like Nancy, Craskey at Springfield Crossings, and there's an S at the end of crossings.com. And it's pretty simple. You just reach out and we'll set up a time that works for both of us.
Nancy, I am sure the food in your dining is exquisite and delicious. But if you want to go outside and you have a cheesesteak craving, where are you going in Delco for your cheesesteak?
Oh, gosh. You go to the Dairy Cottage right around the corner.
All right. Now, what about pizza? Where are you going for pizza?
Well, unfortunately, Rich, I have a gluten allergy, so that's a toughie for me. But I would say my favorite gluten-free pizza lately has been Alfredo's in Broomall.
Taff, taff. Taff, taff. Taff, taff. Taff treats. Get some.
Now, this portion of the What's Happening Delco podcast is sponsored by Taff Treats. That's TAFF Treats.com. And they make some amazing freeze-dried delicacies. They're absolutely delicious. You got to try the s'mores. What they want to know, Nancy, is what do you like on your pizza?
Ooh, that's easy. I love sausage, peppers, and onions.
Ooh, that's delicious. I like that too.
Yeah.
Nancy, where are you stopping for your convenience store needs? Sheets, Royal Farms, or Wawa?
Oh, come on. Rich, Delco born and raised. It's easy. Wawa.
Hey, for some, they might have a preference. I'm just asking the questions.
No way.
How do you describe Delco, Nancy, to someone who's never been here before or has not heard of Delco?
Yeah, no, it's a place where you definitely get a real sense of community, and you can, I call where I live almost like living on the Truman Show, where it almost feels like people are saying, cue the walkers, cue the strollers. At Halloween, it's like Halloween Town. People are out with their fire pits, and the kids are walking around. It's a great place to have grown up, a great place to have raised my family. Roots are deep. I have 5 children, and they all love it here. And there's just something really special about having that, generational connection with people.
Yeah, friends or family coming in from out of town and you want to give them to or take them to that Delco experience, where are you sending them or where are you taking them?
A Delco experience. So recently we were just at the yard for St. Patrick's Day. I really don't think it could get any more Delco than that. So my dear friend Marty Farrell, who I went to high school with, and his partner Sean sang at the yard outside. And there had to have been, hundreds and hundreds of people there. And I always say, my gosh, it's like an episode of This Is Your Life. Because it's people I know from grade school, people I know from my kids' school, it's people I know from college, my neighbors, and all my kids come, and all my friends' kids come. And it's really a truly Delco experience, celebrating St. Patrick's Day at the yard in Havertown.
But it sounds like if it's not St. Patrick's Day, you may be taking people to knock on doors and to meet people in the community.
Yeah, maybe.
Nancy, is there anything we haven't spoken about today on the podcast? Anything you want listeners to know more about you or more about Springfield Crossings?
No, I just, I would encourage people to think of senior living differently than they have in the past. This is not a nursing home. This is very much a home, but you get the benefit of a lot of services. But at the end of the day, you can still lock your door and it's your home with a little kitchenette, and you can still come and go on vacation with your family. You can still be someone who's driving. So there's a lot of misconceptions around what personal care communities are. They are not nursing homes of the past. And, come and check us out. You'll see for yourself.
Nancy, you and your staff put life into living, and you make people's lives better, and you just bring joy. And from our conversation, you brought me joy today, and I'm grateful that you're a friend of What's Happening Delco. Thank you so much for sharing your time today. And we look forward to coming for a visit and can't wait to see you again.
Yeah, me too. I think Dawn's coming tomorrow. Rich, I really appreciate you doing this, and What's Happening Delco has just been a blessing. So thank you.
Thank you for those kind words, Nancy. And just go out there and go knock on doors and visit the community.
Okay, sounds good.
The Taft Treats jingle was written, directed, and recorded by Vincent James of Keep Music Alive. Visit keepmusicalive.org to check out their mission, their events, and how you can get involved. Hey, it's Rich. Thank you so much for being a listener to the What's Happening Delco podcast. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about the people and businesses in our community. I have been a real estate agent for over 25 years, working with first-time home buyers to last-time home sellers. As a listener of the podcast, my gift to you is a complimentary 1-year American Home Shield home warranty. This is for buyers and sellers that I help. If you're looking to move anywhere in the United States, I have you covered with an amazing network of real estate agents. I look forward to hearing from you. My direct line is 215-313-3777, or you can email me at rshaneremax@comcast.net. Oh, by the way, I am never too busy for any of your referrals.